Now I will be moving to the next topic, types of research. We can classify research on various grounds. I will be discussing on the basis of purpose, application, measurement, research method, and some other basis. On the basis of purpose, we classify research in three parts, namely exploratory, descriptive, causal, or analytical. In exploratory studies, we try to explore the unknown. We try to give the directions. Exploratory studies are generally occurred when we have limited or no information, when we are trying to reach a certain objective. These type of studies are generally flexible and unstructured. The examples of exploratory studies are a review of market opportunities, research for new product development to understand consumers' expectations or perceptions. For example, you want to enter into a business. First of all, you will explore what type of business you like to do. Suppose you choose the juice business. So, what type of juices you will like to offer? Whether aloe vera juices, natural juices. So, you will explore your areas where you want to place your product, which market you like to have. These type of studies will help you to set up the base. Once you have explored, now this another type is descriptive studies. Here we try to describe the characteristics of objects, peoples, groups, organizations, environment, situations. So what you will do, you will fa- you have finalized your product, juices you want to enter. So you will see what are the characteristics of the people you are targeting, what type of products they are liking. You will describe them and you will try to establish a risk return relationship between them. These type of studies help you out structuring your research in a more detail so that you know what to do, how to do, and when to do. Suppose you have developed this. Now you like to have some pilot study to see the empirical explanations, to see the cause and effect relationship. For example, how many children under the age of 10 years will be ordering your product? What is the perception of people above the age of 60 years for your product? So here you are trying to establish some sort of relationship, and this type of study will be known as causal or analytical study. For example, a toy manufacturing company believes that an increase in advertisement expenditure will lead to higher sales. So you will see whether advertisement expenditure and sales are related or not, whether to increase the expenditure on advertisement to increase the sales or not. So when we talk about classifying the research on the basis of purpose, we try to explore, we try to describe, and we try to set up the causal or analytical relationship. Next, we can classify research on the basis of application. Here, we can classify in two parts, pure, basic, fundamental research and applied or action research. When we talk about the fundamental research, we are gathering knowledge for the knowledge sake because we don't have a particular goal in mind. Whereas when we talk about the applied research, we are trying to analyze and solve the real life problems. And here we have a specific problem in hand. The basic aim of fundamental research is to advance the knowledge for generalizations, and you can formulate a theory. Whereas in applied, we have immediate or specific problem related to real life. So you can say fundamental is futuristic in nature, whereas applied is to deal with problems at hand. Fundamental is self-exploratory in nature, whereas applied is based on data of pure research. Results of fundamental are useful as universal principle through new ideas, whereas the results of applied gave new insights limited to the problem. The third way is to classify research on the basis of measurement. Here we classified it into two parts, quantitative and qualitative. In quantitative, we talk about the quantities. Here we talk about collecting data, summarizing the data, and trying to draw some inferences from the data. For example, number of COVID patients and sales revenue of pharmaceutical companies. Number of COVID patients and number of hospitals in the country. You can measure these two. How much increase in inflation will impact my prices of the product? When we talk about export data, we talk about import data, we talk about GDP data, we talk about population data, we talk about indexes. Whenever we are dealing in quantities and we are trying to do some research based on it, we are doing a quantitative research. On the other hand, when we are talking about perceptions, attitudes, behavior, all the phenomena which are related to quality, we are talking about the qualitative research. For example, perception of people towards green products, perception of people towards the organic farming, behavior of investors during the coronavirus pandemic lockdowns. So here I'm trying to capture phenomena which are related to quality. So all these factors, when I'm talking about quality, we are talking about qualitative research. Preferences for particular product, preferences for particular places. These type of research is qualitative in nature. When we classify research on the basis of research method, we talk about conceptual and empirical. In conceptual, we try to develop new concepts. They are generally abstract ideas. We try to reinterpret the existing theories. And conceptual research generally is used with some other method. Whereas in empirical, we try to find out the conclusions. It is data-based research. And in empirical, it is possible to test the given hypothesis. Some other bases to classify are like time period, one-time research or longitudinal research. For example, I want to check the impact of COVID-19 variant in the month of January in India, January 22 in India. So this is one-time research. But if I say I want to check the impact of COVID-19 since January 2020 till January 2022. So I'm talking about longitudinal data when I'm talking about over a period like many years or many months or many weeks are involved. Similarly, we have comparative and historical research. Some significance of research, if I talk about, research helps to make progress possible. Today, whatever we are able to have it due to research happened in the past. We are still surviving because research is happening somewhere and we are getting the result. Theories are being developed. So, research is everywhere and it is required at every step to be successful. Research provides a basis for nearly all government problems. For example, in 2020, lockdown happened. We were getting the news that lockdown happened. You all have to be stay home, stay safe, quarantine periods, hospitals being developed. We were getting the information, but research was helping the government when to open, how much to open, in how many phases to open, what will be the criteria to deal with it. Research helps the government to sort out the problems going in the country and help the citizens of the country. Research helps in decision making of policymakers. We as as an individual, I was getting the information like this much amount has been allocated to these sector, this much amount has been allocated to another sector. But who is taking those decisions? And those people who are taking the decision, how they are reaching to those figures. A proper research has been conducted and it is a continuous process. Data has been collected for the betterment of the future. The policies have been developed. So research helps the policymakers in making the decisions. Research also helps in better allocation of nation's wealth. For example, recently budget has been announced. We get to know the allocations and everything. But how those figures were reached? Research help in it. And ultimately, through research, we can allocate the wealth of the nations appropriately to all the parts. Research helps in solving business and industry problems. For example, when lockdown happened, in the education sector, everything was physical mode, classes were not possible. So, research gave the way out to do the online teaching, online education. Even this program, if I talk about, a proper research has been conducted. Whom to target, what will be the course content, what will be the timings, the platform to be used. Research also helps in doing the market analysis.